Welcome back to the Success Catalyst, where we dig into strategies, habits, and mindsets of people who are making a real impact. I'm your host, Nina Robert, and today I'm joined by someone whose approach to personal and professional growth is both practical and deeply rooted in experience. My guest today is Pavle Grujic, a dedicated mentor, educator, and consultant who's committed to helping both individuals and businesses achieve peak performance. Pavle has created a range of affordable online courses aimed at young individuals eager to expand their knowledge and reach their potential. But he doesn't stop there. Pavle has generously shared free materials, including self assessments, useful texts, and downloadable resources, all designed to support and empower young people. On the corporate side, Pavle develops customized training and assessment programs tailored to increase productivity and efficiency, drawing from his extensive background in both the military and the corporate world. His expertise spans across leadership, time management, productivity, communication, and much more, making him a highly sought after consultant for both B2C and B2B clients. I'm very excited about this episode, and I have lots of questions to ask my guest today. Welcome to the show, Pavle.
Thank you. Thank you for so detailed and on point introduction. You really hit the spot. And thank you for having me. I'm sure I will enjoy this conversation.
I'm sure we will. And, sometimes we take ourselves for granted. And when someone else introduces us, we're like, wow, did I did all that? That's amazing. And we're absolutely all amazing. And I have had so many guests in this podcast, and all are successful people. And it's all about sharing stories for success and also sharing recipes and sharing tips. So I'm very excited about having you today, and I have lots of questions prepared. First one, Pavla, you've developed a wealth of materials for young people. I'm so impressed by that, from online courses to mentoring programs. So, what inspired you to focus so much on youth development, and how have you seen those resources impact the lives of young individuals?
Well, I need to share a little bit of my own history, how to say, because I want to show the point. When I was younger, much younger, I wanted to improve myself and I wanted to explore some knowledges. I wanted to advance in my career. And when I researched some, how to say, resources on the internet, I found that if you want to educate, you need a lot of money.
Hmm.
And to be honest, at that point, I didn't have that much money to invest in that kind of knowledge. And over time, I find out that actually these days on internet you can find a lot of how to say affordable knowledge. It is all at our disposal, but it is not organized very well. And I decided, okay, uh, why shouldn't I be the man or the person I needed when I was younger? And so, in kind of one way, I created this for my younger self, and I hope in that way I will give younger people opportunity to avoid mistakes I did and to learn some things faster than I did.
Wow, I love this attitude that you have, and I love the thoughts that you have for young people, thinking from your own experience. And I can resonate with that. When we were young, we did not have that amount of information available, and we would not really know like where and who to ask for advice, for tips, for like what to do and how, and was not very affordable or very accessible either. We needed to go, I don't know, to libraries or to travel to go to seminars. It was all very complicated. And now that we have such such a huge amount of information from everywhere, everyone, we need to be selective. And especially for young people, they're, I think, easily influenced. So we must be there to give the right kind of information and to be selective and help them and guide them get the knowledge and the experience they need. You've made a lot of your materials available for free. I really love that. So why was it important to you to provide free resources, and what do you hope people would take away from them?
Yeah, there are 2 points. First point is a lot of people is selling a lot of different stuff on the internet, and the problem is how will you know if that is any good, if that bears any worth in it? Uh, we are in kind of a problem. Everyone tells you my courses are the best, my ideas are the best, I am the best, but how will you know that? So I have idea, and I do the same with my corporate clients. I first give you a part of how to say of my knowledge. I give you the chance to like test
Mm-hmm.
the product, and you can see the knowledge, the usefulness, me as a trainer, for example, if it is a live training, and everything else. And the second, maybe more important point is, you know, also when I was younger, if you see that something is like, I don't know, even affordable, and you do not have maybe that much money, or you are thinking whether you should invest in some other things,
Mm-hmm.
it is good when you can find something that is free and then something that is affordable, and in that way you can actually learn a lot. And then if you are interested more in learning, you will be maybe interested into investing some amount of money. But I believe we should all share and help other people. And I'm helping other people as far as I know for myself, even from my high school, helping people with tests, even if that is not so moral, but I help people in some
Yeah.
tests. Yeah, but I really believe, maybe I'm going from the subject, but I really believe we are not here on this world just to drink and just to reproduce, and we all have purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe I discovered my purpose is to help people improve themselves, and I want that to be my legacy. And this offering this free or and affordable resources is a part of that.
I love that. And if I may add something about free resources versus paid knowledge or paid online courses, for some reason we tend to take what's free for granted or obvious or not so valuable. And I think it's like a trend now, like the higher the price, the more value we give to the thing, especially if it's an online service, if it's marketed in a way that makes it look luxurious and elite. And we have nominations for programs like Pro and Elite and I don't know what else, Prime and things like that, that make you feel important. So you give more money to get that feeling of status, of exclusive VIP knowledge kind of thing. So I love your approach about giving like a taste, like a test of your knowledge. This is the trailer of what the paid program would look like. You'd still provide enough value for the person to see if it's a good fit, to get some resources for free. But again, you are working, I think, also on the long term to promote your business in a very professional yet affordable way. Like, take this for free, see if it works for you. This is what the program would look like, and I will give you even more value if it's the paid program. So I love this approach. So now I want to talk about the
Yeah,
corporate training programs. I don't know if you wanted to add something about what I was saying, or go ahead if you do.
No, that is perfect. You perfectly
Okay.
explained. Yeah.
My next question is about the corporate training programs. I know you tailor each program to your client's needs. That seems like a lot of work. I've been into consulting before, and I know how such personalization can take a lot of effort and time in terms of investment on your side. So, what's the process of designing these programs, and how do you ensure they make a measurable impact on productivity and efficiency?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You need a lot of time and even maybe even more mental energy because you actually need to invest a lot of energy into thinking what is the best approach and what are the best ideas. So I have few approaches how I decide on the road in which way I should create some course. So firstly, and the best thing is when you talk to HR from the company about that program, that training, and they actually know what is the problem and they know what they want to improve. And actually, these days I'm preparing one training regarding internal and external communications, and they actually know what is the problem and they know what things happen between colleagues and between their workers and clients, and they explain to me in detail. And I created how to say a short blueprint of the
Mhm.
of that training, a short idea or sketch of that training, and I sent that to their HR and told them, okay, what do you think about this approach and this idea? Should I continue creating training in this way? And she said, yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what we need. And I started to create training, and it's almost finished, just a few finishing touches. The other thing maybe also useful is to use some kind of assessment. I use Hogan assessment. And for example, if we have 10 leaders and we want to decide what should we improve in those 10 leaders, I can do assessment with them, and based on the results of that assessment, I can create also like a sketch or idea of training and then align that with their HR. And the third, maybe not so good option is to use a questionnaire. And actually, these days I'm creating one questionnaire for one company where their employees or managers will answer some 10 questions, and then we will decide what they think they need and what may help them. Of course, I will also align that again with HR manager, and we will see how that will happen. We also agreed, I have one promotional training, and we also agreed that using that questionnaire, I will also give them one kind of promotional training. And during that training, I will see what are their problems. And mostly people open during those trainings and start to say, okay, I have problem with this one, I have problem with that one manager. He is too pushy, she is too demanding, and you get the point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are three main points how I decide what kind of training I should create.
I like how you diversify the approach because each business is different and each business has its culture, and it's not obvious to have the same approach or try to push the same design of solution into each business because it's always a new story. And the idea of having a proof of concept, like just the small blueprint of this is how it's gonna look like, and then send it to the decider, and then from there they can assess and make a choice. Now I want to talk about your military experience and how you have such a unique blend of military and corporate experience. How has your time in the military shaped your approach to leadership, discipline, and decision making, I guess, in a business context?
whenever I'm talking to someone, especially in corporate surrounding, and I want to, as a consultant, you want to share why they should pick you, what is so different with you. And for example, in leadership, I see a lot of people talking about leadership and sharing their courses around leadership and everything connected with leadership, but they actually never led any people.
Yeah.
And from my perspective and from my experience, it is quite different when you learn about leadership and I don't know, you finish MBA regarding leadership and everything else, and then you teach what someone else said to you. A lot of things we are taught in school and on courses actually do not work in 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 real surroundings with real people, and maybe they even work, but not in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, from my personal experience, I believe that you can talk about something and you can preach about something when you have experience on your own skin and when you have tried that. And for example, regarding leadership, I led 40 plus people in a very challenging surroundings, and I know what can work even in the most challenging circumstances. And some of things we are taught during our school do not work, and that is why I believe army is, how to say, the cornerstone of leadership and discipline and communication, because in corporate surroundings you need to tell your employee, okay, send that email, prepare me that project, and that is fine.
Yeah.
He or she is working in a warm office, cozy, you have coffee, you have everything. And for me, it's quite easy to lead people in that kind of surroundings. And imagine when you are in minus 20 degrees outside and you need to lead people where you have snow, rain, etc. And there is a possibility maybe some of them will be injured or probably will not return from that trip. And you need to motivate, to convince, to communicate with that people why it is important, and to lead them in that kind of dangerous environment. And it is like when you learn to it's like the same when you learn to drive a car with manual. It's quite easy to go to automatic, and
Yes.
when you drive automatic, it's quite challenging to go to manual. So at least that is my approach. I am not saying it's the only correct one, but I strongly believe in this.
It's very unique indeed. And I agree. I mean, I guess if you can lead people in such surroundings and such circumstances as you were describing, that's really fantastic. So if you can lead people in such environments, you're able to lead anywhere else, because anywhere else is not that urgent, is not that dangerous. You're not really in the cold and you're not risking your life. So whatever is going on, you can manage that. And having been in the leadership situation over and over again through your experience in the army makes you more knowledgeable about leadership than anyone else to be able to teach it. So I completely agree with that. And I guess the example that you mentioned about driving manual versus automatic, that's exactly it. I started driving manual for many years, and then the first time I tried the automatic vehicle, I was like, that's it? Really? And people still learn
Yeah,
this? I was like, that's it? I don't even have to do anything. That's too easy. I can like give me a challenge. So
yeah, absolutely. And I forget to mention one important thing. But everything regarding army I said is quite positive. But there is one negative thing. It is the lack of flexibility. It is
mm,
so strict, and I know it should be and it must be in some cases. But in some cases that kind of strictness, how to say, it is not good. And I find in corporate world you can find a lot of flexibility, but not that much discipline and maybe following rules. And it came to my mind, okay, why shouldn't I do some kind of make some kind of mix, flexibility and discipline? Because while I was in the army, when it was allowed to me, I tried that approach and I tried to be more flexible and maybe even bend some rules in order to better communicate with people, in order to provide better circumstances for them, in order to provide better results. And I saw that it is possible. And, I decided, okay, I will try now my own approach. And for now, it looks like it works. We will see, of course.
That makes so much sense because yeah, we literally say about something that is very strict that it's military kind of leadership or it's military kind of management. There's no in between. You have to do this my way. So learning to do both, learning to mix it up, flexibility and tolerance and bending a few rules versus focusing on discipline in order to have the purposes to get results that we want. So if that is always on our mind, we can find a way to deal with that. I know you focus on areas like time management, stress management, and communication. In your experience, which of these skills is the most challenging for people to master, especially in the corporate world? And what strategies do you recommend for overcoming these challenges? If you could share a few tips.
I'm thinking quite a lot about these subjects, and maybe I should say maybe stress, but not because it is the most challenging, because time management is also challenging, believe me. I On daily basis I see people that are late like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and late to send email and everything. But if you are late on a meeting for 5 minutes, that's not maybe that much a big deal. But I believe stress is something that is killing us, like biologically, and it is also killing our productivity, killing our happiness, killing almost everything.
Mm.
And in general, it is killing our satisfaction with life, with
Yep.
job, with everything. And I believe that people, at least I saw that working with different kind of clients, I saw that stress is maybe the most challenging to deal with, because I actually created one short poll on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and I asked people, do they believe that they can avoid stress, or for them stress does not exist, or you can just manage it. And actually, some of people told that they can avoid stress, which is not possible. Some of people, actually small amount, tell that they do not believe stress exists. And a great amount of people, of course, said that stress does exist, and in a different ways, but you can actually manage it. So from my perspective, that is the first point. We should recognize that is the first tip, how to say, or the thing. You should recognize that stress do exist on a daily level, regarding business, family, relationships, everything, regarding traffic.
Mhm.
You will experience at least small amount of stress on a daily basis. So it does exist. We cannot avoid it. Maybe you can avoid it if you live in a cave,
Yeah.
but even at that point you will feel some kind of stress, at least from the cold from outside, or from the war. But so if we decide that, and agree that stress do exist, what should we do about it? And yeah, I created some, how to say, practical, and I use some practical techniques to maybe in some moments to manage stress and in some moments to avoid stress. For example, time management is largely connected with stress. If we do not manage our tasks and our time very well, we will be late, and that will create stress. You forget to send your email, your boss starts yelling at you, you are stressed, then you send in an email without attachment, then you are stressed more, then you send another attachment, then you think, maybe this client is looking at me like irresponsible or not serious enough person, and that creates another stress, and that creates another stress, and it's kind of a loop. And I believe if you how to say, optimize your actions, and if you accept that some things cannot be changed, and try to use the best from every situation, you can in some way decrease the level of stress. For example, what I use when I'm in traffic, you know, I need to accept that I will spend some time in traffic. So it is obvious I cannot change that.
Yeah.
I cannot influence that. Maybe I could use some different routes, but at the end of the day, I will spend some time in traffic. So what can I do about it? I can be nervous. I can, you know, look at people, and I can spend my energy or that, or I can, what I usually do, listen to some music and just enjoy, and try to enjoy that time if it is even
Mhm.
possible,
Yeah.
or maybe listen to an audiobook or whatever, you know. So there is always a way, but we must recognize that something exists, and if you start from there, you can find your own tricks or tips or techniques to avoid that.
To break the cycle, I guess, because it's a vicious
Yeah,
cycle. And once we are
absolutely.
stressed, as you say, we are less productive, and we get like critiques or a negative feedback, which includes more stress and over again. At the end of the day, we are so frustrated. We don't feel fulfilled. We think this job sucks. I suck. Everyone is against me. Life is not good,
Absolutely.
and eventually that would translate into diseases and more problems. So I love your idea about when you are in a situation that you cannot really do anything about it, you try your best to do something about it. If you cannot, you're already there. Try to make the best out of the time, learn something, enjoy it, sing in the car. uh I don't know, like really try to like raise the vibration in some way, and experiment with things. I love to do all kinds of things in the car. I love traffic because I think this is like an opportunity for me. Okay, I put myself in this situation. This is unavoidable. Of course, I would love to like get to my job or to my next meeting in 5 minutes like that and have all the green lights. But if it's there, I'm very grateful for it. This is like 30 minutes of traffic for me to enjoy my audiobook that I haven't had the time to read, or to listen to some music to cheer myself up, or maybe to call some friends and just chat while I'm in the car moving slowly. There's no harm in that. So it's really a choice to make. We have to just bring more awareness to our surroundings in everyday life and see what we can do about it to make the experience better.
Yeah, and sometimes even with that, you cannot avoid stress. I'm not saying
Yeah.
after I'm quite stress resistant because of my military background and everything, but I'm not totally stress resistant. Sometimes happen I am like on 100 degrees, but I know that I'm under stress, and I recognize that, and I say to myself, okay, this will not change anything. It will only make things worse. And I do something about it. For example, in most times I like breathe few times, and like, okay, I say to myself, like, calm down. Or if that even does not help, I don't know. I do some push-ups to throw
Yeah.
that away, and or maybe if it is a large stress, I go for a run, or go under the shower or something. Or just if it is a large, like, what's how to say, compound stress, then I maybe use like maybe I watch some, movie or something to relax myself
Mhm.
and to regain my how to say control over myself. And everyone can find a way for this themselves only if they want.
Yeah, yeah, it's always a choice, and we have all our lives to get familiar with ourselves, with what motivates us, with what keeps us calm, with how to manage our emotions. It's a trial and error experience, and it gets better. We get more familiar with ourselves. We have more wisdom. We are more trained, even sometimes psychologically and mentally, to deal with stress. Stress is still there. Sometimes it's like a healthy amount of stress to keep us challenged, to get the adrenaline going, to like have this rush to want to do things. If nothing was urgent and nothing was dangerous and nothing was frustrating, we wouldn't have evolved to do what we're doing today as human beings. So there is
Absolutely.
good
I
side
agree
to it.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um, I want to still talk about personal productivity. I know many of your programs focus on that. So, what do you believe are key habits or mindsets that people need to cultivate in order to truly boost their productivity and achieve their goals?
For me, it is mostly, from my perspective, it is mostly time management.
Hmm.
So, but time management connected with your personal organization of tasks and your personal understanding what is important and what is not important and what influence on your job or on your productivity more and what influence less. And that is why I decided I created a time management course uh, that is free for individuals on my website, like in the form of course. And I also created time management training that is kind of promotive training for companies where they can see what am I talking about, and they, as I said, they can try the product, but also because I believe that will increase their productivity not only in the job surroundings, not only in the company, but overall. I believe it can increase our productivity. Good time management skills can increase our productivity and our general satisfaction with life. And it is not that hard. It is not a rocket science. With a few simple rules or tips, you can really improve your life.
Hmm.
And I know because I tried all those things, and I even how to say improved or adjust some of those things to myself. For example, I use 2 minute rule and Pomodoro on a daily basis. And Pomodoro is great, and that's one another story. But for example, 2 minute rule, if you have anything that is under 2 minutes, you need to do that immediately.
Yeah.
And I always explain that to people. When you have small things like emails, like paying your bills, everything, if you do that immediately, you will even forget about it.
Hmm.
But if you allow that small things to if
Accumulate,
you allow the compound
build up.
effect, and you have 10 small things, and they are annoying and boring, and you do not enjoy doing that. And if you have 10 or 15 or 20 those small things, you will be, how to say, depressed, stressed, everything. And if you do that just and use most of those things, even require 1 minute or less.
Yeah.
So just do it, and then you can continue with other tasks. The only time I say do not use that kind of 2 minute rule is when you are in how to say deep work or deep learning, and
Hmm.
you are extremely focused, you are in the zone. You should not break that kind of concentration using 2 minute rule, but in every other situation you should use it. And for example, Pomodoro helped my productivity a lot, because I never allowed to myself to overwork. I create short breaks, and I created my own Pomodoro. For example, I do not like alarms telling me what is the time, because it will stop or kick me out of my deep focus in some work or studying. I have, after some time, I naturally feel when it is, for example, 25-30 minutes, and then I create a short break to, drink of water, go to the bathroom, whatever, check my phone, and that's it. And the third, maybe even more important thing, is to find a way to put your phone somewhere else.
Yeah,
In
that's
most of the time, I put my phone when I'm working in the kitchen, because even a small light from the phone will distract you.
yeah.
And you will need to, for example, if you are reading some material, some research, especially if it is a harder subject, and you need to use all your brain power to understand that. And something is something distract your attention, you will need to read that again, and you will spend your energy, your time, and everything else. And for me, I believe if you want to increase your productivity in any field, actually in life, just those two rules, 2-minute pomodoro, and learn to leave your phone, it will like boost your productivity so much.
I can only agree on that because I've been using these, and the Pomodoro technique and the 2 minutes technique are maybe one of the most useful and fantastic rules and tips I have came across, because using Pomodoro technique, I was able to write my second book in less than 6 weeks just by working 2 hours a day, but just like 25 minutes of pure focus. When I really switch my brain into this like 100% productivity, and I keep um like typing, and then I just take a break. My brain was shut down. Okay, maybe I'll take a nap for even 20 minutes, or maybe I'll just go for a quick walk, or maybe I'll do something. I know my brain knows there is a reward coming, so it will really, really give its best. It's like you're on boost mode. I love that. And the 2 minutes rule, there's so many little things that need to be done here and there, like plates to wash in the dishes, and I don't know, something to do here and there, a bill to pay, and a quick email to respond to. It will, if it takes only 2 minutes or less, it's usually less. We tend to like overestimate the amount. Sometimes I set a timer to, okay, let's test how this is gonna take. It's like just 30 seconds. So really, like, do it. If it's not really distracting you from a hyper focused mode of work that you're into, do it immediately and forget about it. The amount of satisfaction and fulfillment at the end of the day, and it'll give you even that rush of dopamine that we need to stay motivated during the day. So it's all to the good.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
I love talking about productivity. It's really amazing how much we can do with our brains if we have like the exact recipe and how to really switch our brain into that productive mode. But the brain needs fuel. It needs motivation, needs rewards, it needs rest. So it's important to structure our day in this fashion. I know, Pavle, you're currently developing your consulting business further. So, can you share some of your future plans and what you hope to achieve in the next few years with your B2C and B2B clients?
Well, most of the time I restrain myself for saying those plans, because I believe people will think I am somehow crazy. But uh, I really have like extreme plans. For example, I would like to say like this. Uh, at one point of my life, I was also interested into workouts and nutrition and everything, and I'm still doing those things for myself, also to increase my productivity and health, uh, and everything else, my satisfaction in life. But I like to say to my friends and with the people with whom I speak openly, for example, if my goal, my idea is, for example, if Elon Musk wants to put people on the Mars,
Mm-hmm.
I want to prepare people for being on the Mars.
Mm-hmm.
In which way? Uh, For now, I'm focused on productivity, on, you know, on dealing with stress, with time management, with organization, with everything. And I want to be focused on that in the most challenging surroundings, as I said, using my military knowledge. And that is the first part of the plan. And I also want to help young people who are maybe not in companies, or who are in companies but their companies are not investing in their development. I want to give them the chance to also develop.
Mhm.
And the next thing, probably for a few years, will be to establish some kind of institute where I will connect, and maybe not maybe but surely invite extremely smart, smarter than me, young people, to help me develop even better, products, even better strategies or tactics to improve our, how to say, mental and physical well-being.
Mhm.
And I want, kind of, my wish, maybe I'm striving to create some kind of superhuman in any possible way, but normally, without some crazy Dr. Frankenstein techniques.
Yeah.
But just to harness the power of our brains and of our bodies, because we have evidences that we are uh, capable of doing remarkable things. I just want to explore that more, and to allow people, to give them free tools to use that. But I try, the main thing, everything should be based in science and in experience,
Mhm.
because these days you have a lot of gurus talking they are connected with spiritual beings, and
Yeah.
using crystals for energy. And no, I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. I'm interested in real hardcore science and proven things that works in reality. So my idea is, for a few years, as I said, to create some kind of institution where I will invite people who are much much smarter than me, and hopefully align with them. Okay, this is for the, this should be our mission, this should be our legacy, this is for the better of humankind, or at least for the better of the people who are interested in those kind of things.
Mhm.
Because unfortunately, I see there are a lot of people who are actually not interested
Yeah.
in that, and who are interested in hedonistic kind of lifestyle, drinking, smoking, and doing nothing with their life. And I like to drink a glass of wine from time to time, but I really, really need. I have the need for years to create some kind of legacy, and I hope I will succeed in that. We will
Oh,
see.
we know you will succeed. We know because the human potential is literally limitless. Human beings have proven over and over again over the years that we are capable of so many amazing things. And again, we tend to take ourselves for granted. We tend to forget how amazing our brains and our minds are. So I agree with you that most people will think you're crazy. I don't think so because I believe that the scarier the goal, the better it is. Because if the goal was, oh, okay, I would like 20% increase in my income in the next few years, or I would like the next promotion, or I'd like to build the next business. Okay, if it's not challenging enough, if you can see exactly how you're able to do it, it's probably the wrong goal. You're probably wasting your time and energy. You can do much better with that. And since you've shared with us some very useful techniques to improve productivity. Now we don't have any excuses. We
Yeah,
just have to go
absolutely.
there and do the work. I really enjoyed this episode with you, Pavle, and I'll make sure to add your contact links in the description of the episode. so that people can interact with you. Maybe if you can share also some free resources that can benefit young people and corporates, so we can really know more about what you do, and people can interact with you and contact you to work with you. So yeah, that's the end of our episode. I don't know if you have anything else to say, Pavla.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to express myself. And I hope there will be a chance for us to maybe sometime drink a coffee and continue our conversation, not only
Absolutely.
in front of cameras, because I kind of see we are thinking on the same things, and we want to explore the same things, and I believe we can learn from each other. And thank you once again. Thank you for having me. This was great.
It was a great pleasure having you, Pavla. So we come to this episode's ends. We'll see you again in the next episode. Thank you. This was Nina Roberts.